everyone. Welcome back. Today is the 22nd episode of the Puddle of Grunge podcast, and we have got a special little thing for you guys. Siamese Dream turns 31 tomorrow as of the day that we're recording this. So we're just going to go 30 minutes talking about Siamese Dream and just gushing on it for about half an hour. So, yeah, we're going to let all of our musical opinions flow. Colby, you got anything else you want to add?
No, but we're gonna kind of go track by track.
Yeah.
A little bit. This isn't gonna be like our normal album review kind of thing if we were to listen to it.
Yep.
And we may give a ranking. We don't really know exactly because we just have this idea out of the blue.
Yeah.
Let's just gush on this album for 30 minutes.
Gush for half an hour. So I think we should just go right into it. Colby, what is the first song of Siamese Dream?
That would be Cherub Rock.
What a damn banger to start out on, dude. Yeah, just Jimmy Chamberlain, man. That phrase is going to be repeated a lot during this video, but for good reason, because the man is just a fucking genius.
It will be brought up a ton.
Oh my god, but Cherub Rock is literally, it's a song that you could mosh to, and I feel like, and I was going to say this earlier.
There's a lot of unlikely moshers
on this album. There's so many songs that you could literally mosh to and have a great time, but there's also so many songs where you could just curl up in bed and cry listening to them. It's so crazy, just the range that this album goes through. But Cherub Rock, just to start off, oh my god.
It's got one of the most iconic snare rolls.
It is
of the 90s. And also, we know here at the old Pog, we throw the word iconic around, but Cherub Rock absolutely has an iconic beginning.
Yeah, that is in a playlist of 90s songs that are staples. That one is always going to be in there because, oh my god, that just gets the party started, man. And this album is a party through and through. First time saying it in a while, but yeah,
he hasn't been throwing that around a lot.
Haven't been throwing it around.
Through.
Yeah. So, my god, man, Cherub Rock, and we can't understate the little harmonies that Darcy does going into the chorus on this. I love them. Every time you listen to this album, there's just something new that you hear every time. And that's something that I heard pretty recently in retrospect of listening to this entire album. And my God, man, just perfectly backs Billy's voice.
Yeah, it's just slightly over the top of this cascading guitars. Yeah. And it's perfectly placed in the mix. Because you have to listen for it a little bit, but you can really hear it without actually actively listening for it.
It's like her voice is so smooth, and Billy's voice just has that coarseness and that just that edge to it. It's got the edge to it, and I love it. I love how their voices mix. And yeah, I mean the bass part on this is great too. Yeah, man, this and then the solo, just an absolute clanger. As you would say.
It's a perfectly played solo.
Yeah.
It's all, it's all pentatonic, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about that?
It's so melodic,
but it's great, yes.
It's so melodic, just in the scope of this entire song, which is kind of an anthem. It's just so melodic, and it fits perfectly. Billy Corgan is great at that. Altogether, just, oh, man.
And just with the guitars that he used, he said that a lot of them were like crappy guitars.
Yeah.
Of course, they're mostly Fender Strats. But
or strap bodies.
There's so many tracks on this where it couldn't have been recorded with any other guitar. We're gonna get more into this later, but there's so much feedback.
Yeah,
there's so many of these guitars that there's crinkle.
There's just so much noise on this album. It's great. Fucking love it.
It just adds to the sonic landscape.
And there's one thing that I need to add about this entire album, and it's this puppy right here, the Big Muff Pie. Just. Shout out, Billy. This is the Siamese one, Siamese Dream, edition one. And, oh my God, that tone to die for. That is, oh, jeez, man. I could gush on the tone for about half an hour. But, yeah, Cherub Rock is just the perfect song to start off this monumental album.
Yeah, it's just an anthem for the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a great hype song. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's one of my favorite tracks off of this for good reason. It's the most popular. I would say it's the most popular.
For sure.
There's some that are pushing their way up towards it now with tracks like Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And Today.
And Disarm and stuff like that.
Are all very popular. But Cherub Rock is kind of like, I would say, like their song that they're pegged for most often.
Yeah, I'd say that. That or Bullet with Butterfly Wings, something like
1979.
that. Yeah.
But those are not on Siamese Dream.
Yes. We will do a Melancholy review at some point. But, yeah. Cherub Rock, great fucking song, man. Let's go into the next one.
Such a great album.
Quiet, man. Quiet. Another mosher. Another one that you could just push people to. Man.
I feel like I just want to run.
Yeah.
When this song comes.
Exactly. And I love how abruptly it comes in. And that fill at the beginning by Jimmy. Once again, Jimmy fucking Chamberlain, man. There's really no other way to describe it. How his big band style of drumming fits so perfectly into the Smashing Pumpkins. It's marvelous, man. I just can't.
He's a jazzer.
He is a jazz drummer, and it just fits so perfectly behind how much Billy can just shred, and he absolutely shreds on this song, man.
He's got a great mini solo.
Oh my God.
And this is where I just mentioned it just before that weird feedback that happened because it's so hard to properly mix overdriven guitar sounds, whether it be fuzz or distortion, because you want the notes to come through, and it feels like they just turned up the muff pine all the way up.
Yeah,
they just turned the sustain all the way up, but the notes are still clear.
Oh, it's great,
and it's such just a driving riff.
Yeah, and I mean,
song. It just feels like he's just like his full strums.
Yeah,
and he's just sliding those power chords up. It's punk. It's
punk. It's so punk.
And Billy is punk. I think he played a lot of punk stuff growing up.
Yeah, he did. I'm pretty sure that there's like earlier videos of them doing like punk covers and everything. And it's just like you said. This one just, man, it just kind of makes you stank face a little bit because he is full strumming that and getting every single note, and it's just so heavy. This is a heavy ass song. In the middle of this alternative rock magnum opus is what I'd call it. It's just a clanger, as you would say once again, Colby. A clanger. That's what this one is. Holy shit, man! Only the second song on the album, and this is. It's like you just want to keep listening to it. That's the drawing. Cherub Rock kind of grabs you by the throat, and then Quiet just like that.
Yes, that's a good way.
I mean,
it keeps you like you think you're gonna escape after Cherub, and then
just jumps you right back.
And you got those weird.
All the
at the start.
Yeah, like you were saying, all the noise and feedback on this album. A lot of times you don't want to have that, but for their sound and the evolution of them from Gish to this, it just works so perfectly. I feel like they're a band that, with that extra noise, it just propels them forward so much more. It just makes it so much more massive. It's, oh my God, man, I love this album.
Isn't that wild that they went from Gush to Siamese Dream? It's
insane. And Gish is a phenomenal album as well.
They're so different but so similar in the same way. I couldn't even explain to you, but you should just understand. What I'm saying.
You just gotta get.
You gotta get that.
You gotta understand.
But Quiet, it's such a great. It was an album track. I don't think it was a single. But
I've seen.
It stands up against those singles for me.
It does. It does. There's just a lot of moments on this album where the album tracks kind of peek over the edge for me. It's, this album just has so many moments on it that
it's got depth.
You just want to go back to over and over and over again, and it is a perfect album, and that's why we're reviewing it, kind of going through it, gushing on it. So, Quiet, man. You got anything else you want to add?
I just wanted to reiterate. I love the solo on the song. Billy can shred. He's up there.
Also, let's give credit to James for keeping up with Billy on this. Like, James is a phenomenal guitarist as well. One of the best rhythm guitarists, for sure, of the 90s. And just his style as well. Having those humbuckers in there adds so much to the sound.
Just push.
Oh yeah,
they have just a little extra push than those the single coils Strats do. It's like that's perfect. That's why Pearl Jam sounds so great.
Yep.
You Strat against a humbucker most of the time.
Exactly.
But I think we should move on to the third track.
The third track on Siamese Dream is going to be Today. This is just such a melodic. Billy is so phenomenal at finding melodies that just stick in your head forever, man. Like this one, you will find yourself singing it all the time. And once that sound hits you, once that first just blast of fuzz hits you in the face, you're transported to another world. That's the only way I can put it is once this little guy, or it was probably a big guy back then, once this just hits you straight in the face, you're transported, and this album just takes over your entire soul.
Oh, but no, I would just want to be in that room with like all those Marshalls just turned up max.
Yeah,
probably, and then just kicking on one of those things. I bet you it was.
Yeah,
some otherworldly experience to hear that. But today it's definitely one of their most popular tracks off of the album. Just like up there with Cherub Rock. Today was enormous, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, huge.
Because of course we were not alive.
We were not alive.
But it it's probably one of their higher charting songs, I would say.
Definitely.
I'm not sure how high it went.
For great reason, man. This is just this one just makes you smile, you know? It's kind of an uplifting song, and I feel like this album has a lot of uplifting moments, but this one specifically, just all of the elements mixing together. Jimmy's drum part on this is phenomenal once again, and
Jimmy propels this song
so much
a way that it's just with the way, like when that riff comes in, you're like, there's no way they could pick something that you could mosh to.
Oh my
he's
God!
Just laying down a solid rock drum,
just classic rock drum part, and it's just his snare sound is something that when I was listening to this, I was just blasting this in my car on the way home today, and his snare sound is something that I think every drummer should try to go after in a mix. That is just the absolute most perfect snare sound to me.
To me, it's like it's punchy through the mix.
Yeah,
but it's not. It doesn't cut. It's like a rounded sound.
Yeah,
it's not like I don't know, something like a 311, like a Chad Sexton type snare, where it's like a lot of high. It's a lot of like more mid-range sounds that come through, at least in my ears, and it's perfectly mixed. Butch Vig, right?
Yeah,
that's Butch. Yeah,
for sure.
Just a ridiculous drum sound with Butch being one himself. He said being with Jimmy was one of his favorite.
Yeah,
people
I'd imagine
produce.
I would imagine, because the way that he just approaches drums as well, and we'll talk about it a little bit later because there's some absolutely disgusting parts again on this album, but just the way that he approaches drums and the way that he plays is something that I admire greatly. He just looks like he's having fun when he's playing, and you just gotta love that.
Doesn't?
I mean,
he always looks like he's
but he's so into it. You
commanding.
know that he's just in his element. It just comes so naturally to him that you just know he's in his element, and he may not show it, definitely, but there's just an element that he just enjoys it so much. The music just takes over him. It's great to watch.
He does love the mean mug, though. He mean mugs quite a bit, but he's it's good. He's got to work hard, especially for some of the later album stuff. But I love Today.
Yeah,
it's just a huge blast of sound at the start, and it doesn't even in the verses, it doesn't really pause or it doesn't really halt.
Yeah,
it really keeps pushing, even though there's no overdrive or anything.
Yeah, I know, and that's also something that they do so well, is just coming from that wall of sound and just dropping it, going back into a verse. That's something they do so well, and continue to do well. And yeah, man, Today is just one of the greats off this album for sure, and it's one of their most popular for great reason. So, got anything else you want to add for it?
No, I think that's a good amount for today.
All right.
I didn't talk too much. Did we talk too much about the song itself, or did we just talk about Jimmy?
It might have been just a Jimmy highlight, but it's okay.
Yeah, I love the thing that I love. There's another song. I think it might be the next one. Actually, no, it's not. It's the one after that. There's just a lot of great, just guitar fills in between. That's not the actual chord bass part.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like triads and like upper extension stuff that just adds to this just array of...
It adds texture
of the
to
song.
it, if you will, Colby. Adds texture.
Yes, that was an important word we talked about earlier.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But this one is just phenomenal. Yeah.
But
Colby,
what is the next song?
the next song on Siamese Dream is going to be Hummer.
Oh, okay.
So this is another one that you could just mosh to, but then at the end, lay down and take a nap to it.
I'm gonna wait a second before I talk about the ending because I have a lot to say about the ending.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
But it's got a great guitar solo in it.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
I'm just trying to. There's so much substance to these songs.
Yeah,
guys.
you got it's easy
hard
to
get
lost.
We're doing the same thing. It's easy to get lost in between these songs because they're
so deep and they have so many moments on them that you just want to remember. And Hummer is phenomenal, man. I love that riff. It's infectious almost.
very, very. No, I'm not gonna say. Guess who asked?
American Woman esque.
But it's just a driver.
It's one that just makes you get on your feet. 100%.
I think there's just a lot of cheeky lyrics in this one too. Life's a bummer.
Be a Hummer.
Yeah,
I love it.
When you're Hummer.
Life's a bummer when you're Hummer. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I had to correct it.
That's okay.
But
I
this,
respect it.
It's freaking such a great song. It's very happy, I'd say.
Yeah.
Happy sounding.
It sounds happy, and it kind of just... This one kind of drones, you know? It kind of cascades back and forth in the ear, and it rattles around, and it sits so well. And once again, the drumming...
Just the dynamics.
Just the dynamics, man. He is able to bring it up and just take it down so quickly and so elegantly. He just flows around the kit, and it's just masterful work by Jimmy Chamberlain on this. And, you know, I love the bass part on this as well. The bass is not super noticeable in all of these mixes, but this one I feel like it just kind of jumps out to me a little bit.
Because there's a part to start.
Yeah, and that just kind of makes your ear lock onto it throughout the entire part, throughout the entire song, and burp at the same time. No, it kind of makes your ear lock onto it throughout the entire song. You're like, okay, this is actually a really sick bass part. That's getting played right here, and yeah, man, the Hummer is a great one. But Colby, I want you to touch on the ending a little bit.
Well, I just think it's such a odd thing. Well, not really odd. There's a lot of loud, quiet, loud dynamics, but just the ending of this track is so cozy. That's the word I want to use for it, because like it's just like, it's so perfectly pieced together. That loud part, and then it just gets quieter, and then it opens up into this. It's like I just walked in. I was in a room on Mars, and I just walked into Jupiter. Through one door, and that's like and it's just a beautiful melody that he creates, and I love how he just continues to just like slide down the neck, and then he finds the chord towards the end. It's just a beautiful ending to a pretty complex song, and structurally. Yeah,
and Billy just has that way of he can play so hard and fast, but then when it's time to bring it down and be elegant and gentle on the fretboard, he just is a master of that.
Actually, I'm going to assume that James probably played the rhythm part for that.
Yeah, for sure. And Billy going over it, though. I'm saying, like, with Billy's, his clean tone is also something that's, oh, man. But there's just, like you said, the little melody that he creates on here is one of my favorites. And I thought of that thing about the moshing and being able to curl up in a bed when I was listening to the end of this song. Is the fact that you say it's cozy. I 100% agree. Because this one you could just, once again, curl up in your bed and just take a nap to the end of this. And I would not mind doing that. This one it's just one you want to listen to over and over again. Like a lot of the songs on this album. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great one. Colby, you got anything else you want to add about Hummer?
Just as one of my absolute favorite album tracks off of this album. I always end every, like, when we talk about it, I just wrap it up and talk about the song in whole, but the song is just such an absolute classic of a track off this album. Blah, 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 blah. What's the next song?
The next song is going to be Rocket. Yeah.
It's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah. I'll let you start on the gush for this one a little bit.
Well, the riff is so weird to me. The tone is just special, man. There's something about...
Great way to put it.
This is what I was talking about, like the little triads and stuff. The whole song is based upon the... And he's going higher on the fretboard. It's just... Man, I love the ending. It doesn't even sound like a guitar at the ending. Like when they all drop out and it's just a...
That's what I was thinking. I was literally thinking that in the car. I was like, this sounds like a synth or something.
That's what I was going to say.
It sounds like a synth.
It sounds like a synth.
Oh, my God. The tones that he gets for this album, man. Oh, just... We should put a counter for an moment.
A lot of Uggs.
There's a lot because, man, this album deserves it. It's one that you're just kind of mind blown, sitting there in awe after you listen to it. And Rocket just hits so hard once again. That's something that a lot of bands do. They hit you in the face with loud sound, but Smashing Pumpkins does it differently. You know what I mean? Their fuzz tone and, I mean, just the way that they dial in the amps, it just gives you goosebumps as soon as it drops, every single time. And I love it, man. Rocket is no exception to that. It's just great.
Jimmy just lays down an excellent drum part on this song as well.
Yeah, he does.
It's like almost you don't even notice he's there. Yeah. He just fits into the, like, if you catch what, you gotta just understand what I'm saying here, guys. It just fits into this song just so perfectly. It's like, I don't even have to pick it apart.
Jimmy's drum acts as a drum and almost as a third guitar for me. He follows Billy so much throughout this entire album. He follows Billy and James so much that it kind of makes his drum act as a third guitar, just backing up everything, man. It's
listen, folks. Man. He's speaking facts here.
It's just it's phenomenal.
That's a great way of putting it.
Timmy Chamberlain, man.
Yeah. And Darcy on this track too.
Yeah,
plays perfectly.
Yeah. And we haven't touched on her much, but she provides so many good harmonies, like we said, for Cherub Rock, but there are so many more. There's a lot on Gish, but there's so many good lines on this album where if her voice was not included behind it, it wouldn't be as thick and delicate. Textured. It wouldn't. It would be,
as you said. Billy is so coarse. Well,
Darcy just comes in and mellows it out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just slightly curves the edge.
Yeah. It's great, man. And then, the solo on Rocket. It's yeah.
It's just what it's always been a standout track for me.
Yeah.
Ever since I first listened to the album, and really, I think this one may have been a single. Actually, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it might have been.
But it's probably it's up there in my top 4 or 5 off this album. It's just the tone. The tone is what just pushes it so high for me.
Yeah.
But so we should move on to the next one. What's the next track?
The next track is gonna be the acoustic classic "Disarm." This is one that everyone requests that they play at concerts because it's such an intimate song in the middle of this album. There's so many just moments where you feel like you're grabbed by the music, but this one just stands out so well in the scope of this album.
This is a standout vocal track for Billy.
Yeah.
That's what I think about it. Adding the symphony to this just
oh my god,
creates like this sonic landscape.
It's like adding the strings to I Stay Away. It just, oh my god, man. It just cascades over everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is such a deep song for Billy as well.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics are just so poignant. Poignant.
Yeah, it's poignant.
Poignant.
Yeah. Had it right the first time.
G-A-N-T. That it's just, it really adds a layer of depth to this song, both musically and lyrically. And one of my favorites off of this album.
Yeah.
I say that about every track, but
this album is just full of favorites. So
you don't always have to compare everything.
Exactly. No, I totally see where you're coming from. This one, it's mostly acoustic, and it's so crazy to throw an acoustic song like this into the middle of a hard rock album like this. I mean, it's almost every song leading up to this one is just an absolute just heater coming off, like straight off the press for it. And then you just drop into this low, kind of angsty acoustic part by Billy, and it's perfect. It fits so well.
Yeah, this one, it's almost become an anthem.
Yeah, and I mean, when we saw them live last year, it kind of just draws that emotion out of you. Like, I really have no personal connection to this song, but it kind of just makes you want to cry, you know? Mm-hmm. Hearing it and hearing Billy sing it, and, you know, his voice is still great. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because it's still great. It just kind of strikes a chord with you, no pun intended. But yeah, Disarm, definitely one of my favorites. In total agreement with you on that. And yeah, there's not really much else to touch on for that, because there's a lot of like bells and stuff. But I think, like you said, it just creates such a great atmosphere with the symphony and everything. And there's just layers to this one that you can go through forever and still pick out new stuff every time. So
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Also, it's got bells in it.
Yeah. Who doesn't love
Puts
that?
it way up top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bells, man.
So the next song off Siamese Dream is going to be Soma. Colby, this is one of your favorites, so I'll let you start on this.
Loud, quiet. This song.
Quiet, loud.
Yeah, this song is another perfect example of that. It's probably got my favorite guitar solo on the album. There's so much aggression.
God, dude.
Great, what a rakes. So much noise on this one.
Yeah.
This is the premiere track when we're talking about that feedback and noise. Because like he hits a note and it's like...
It screams.
It screams.
It screams. So, oh yeah. I think I compared this one to Siva off of Gish, and I feel like it's kind of a sequel to Siva, only in the fact that it just starts out so delicately, and there's so much space in this song, and then once it hits you, man, you're really not ready for it. It kind of just drops off a cliff, and then just gets grabbed and pulled back up. You know, it's holy shit. This one just hits hard.
It really does.
Yeah, and like you said, Billy is just on the solo for this one. He's shredding, dude. He is shredding, but there's still so much melodic playing in his shredding that you're like, how the hell? How do you come up with those lines? Like
he's got a lot of great noisy bends in there.
Yeah. And every note is just so soaked with just sound, dude. There's so much on every single note that he plays, and it's beautiful. This one is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like almost a bit of a sleeper.
I'd say so.
I'd say, because one of the songs coming after that, really the whole back half of the album, I think, is a bit of a sleeper. Like the first 6 or 7 on this, just absolutely
some of their best.
Tear you apart, and then
the rest of the album is also some of their best. But I feel like it gets slept on a little too much.
I think so.
Yeah.
This is me. But the back half of this album, I think, stands tall against the front half, because it is 14 songs, isn't it?
Yes, 13 songs.
13. Okay, so it's uneven, but
yeah,
it can almost be halved.
Yeah,
I know it can't.
There's some longer songs, so
Yes.
But yeah, Soma is just. I love Jimmy's dynamics on this one because he's going with some little rim shots on there, using the ride so much, and his ride is mic'd up perfectly. Butch Vig, that man, I swear to God, dude, the albums that he produces, man, he knows how to mix drums. That is,
he might drum in a band or something.
It's like it is almost like he is a drummer in a band. It's kind of weird.
Not sure,
but. Yeah, man, this is just monumental track, I'd say. It kind of refreshes back to the original Smashing Pumpkins, Gish Smashing Pumpkins with just it goes on quiet for so long. It's a long time that this song is kind of very mellow and chilled out. And then once that sound hits you, it's just taken to another planet. Just like you said, walking from Mars into Jupiter. Like, yeah, this is a perfect song.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
So, Colby, the next song that we're going to be going over is Geek USA.
This one, I will say, first listen, did not grab me as much.
I'd say the same.
Just like when you grow older and get more mature in like your music taste and stuff like that. This one, it doesn't have the pop side to it that maybe some of these do. Not saying this is a pop album, of course, duh. But like there's not as much of a hook. Yeah. The thing is, in this track, there's millions of hooks.
Oh my God!
Dude. And I love there's different sections to this one. This is like another great quiet loud thing.
Yeah.
It's got some of my favorite parts, like the ending part into that jam. What a disgusting fill from Jimmy.
You want to talk about just disgusting? Let's talk about the fucking intro from Jimmy, dude. Because, oh my, it's just reminiscent of Jelly Belly. Just the way that it comes in.
But inverted.
It comes in so hard and fast, and they go to like a little halftime thing in the middle of it. It's so crazy, just the way that they are able to change their sound mid-song. It almost sounds like a completely different band in the middle of the song.
It's like they completely stop.
Yeah.
And then it's just like this quiet little ambient part.
Yeah.
That's just like...
It sounds like a completely different band in the middle, It sounds like this could have been like an ambient part on like a Deftones song or something. And then it just...
And this one also has got a lot of punk in it, too.
Yeah.
It's because it's fast, man. It is fast.
It hits the ground running, and it only stops to jog, It hits the ground sprinting, and it just stops to take a jog every now and then it just keeps on sprinting the entire way through. And like you said, that fill from Jimmy to go in, like the ending part, is just, it's insane to me.
It's just like they completely stop, and it's just like, I don't know if it's a swing, but there's just, they linger on notes longer, which I guess that might be a swing, but,
yeah. It's jazzy. There's such a jazz part in the middle of this where he is just hanging on there just ever so slightly off beat, and it fits so it rides perfectly behind what Jimmy and James are playing. Not Jimmy and James. What Billy and James are playing. Oh my gosh, there's just such a great foundation in the rhythm section for the Smashing Pumpkins, and this album really just showcases the masterful work in that section, 100%.
And Darcy has a great harmony part underneath.
Yeah,
the last part as well.
Yeah,
it's just like they're just paired right there. You can hear them both.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge standout for me.
Yeah.
After multiple listens to this track, and I'm happy I've matured on it because I find it's like a goldmine for great parts.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
There's so many things that you can just come back to and learn from this song. You know, that's another thing about this album is, you know, as people that enjoy music and play music, we always go through songs and are just trying to listen to stuff that would be cool to implement in things. And this album has so many things that are just awesome little parts that are just so ear-catching that you just want to put it into your own stuff, you know. And Billy's guitar playing, Jimmy's drumming, the bass lines from Darcy, they all, and I mean James' rhythm parts, it's just...
Oh, we'll be talking about James in just a second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. Next one is But, yeah, there's just so many parts on every Smashing Pumpkins album, I feel like, that you just come back to and listen to over and over again. But, yeah. Colby,
yeah.
What is the next song on Siamese Dream?
It's a condiment song.
What's all this talk about condiments?
It is mayonnaise, people. Mayonnaise. Thank you, James E. This is one of the most beautiful chord sequences.
Oh yeah,
on this whole album.
And I love the tuning. The tuning is so awesome.
Open B flat.
Open B flat, dude. While Billy's in E flat standard, it's just
Or Allison Chain's tuning if you're
Ryan, it's Allison Chain's standard.
But
new Jerry song drops tonight, Friday, July 25th. By the way, just saying. All right, keep going.
Just saying. This song, man, is it's become one of their most popular as of late.
Oh, it's an emotional roller coaster the entire way through. It's about 5-6 minutes of just gripping you the entire way through. You know, once that fuzz hits, it's one of those ones that, like the Today fuzz, it just gives you goosebumps every single time that it hits. And you know, we've even like tried to play it like just together jamming, and it kind of even has that same effect when you play it like by yourself too, which is, if music has that effect when you're playing it by yourself, you're not even hearing it from the original artist, you're just playing it, there's something special about it.
It's
and this
packed
song
with
is
something.
Yeah.
And it comes out every time.
Mm-hmm.
But this song, to me, personifies melancholy.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, of course, with their next album. But, like, it's just such a strong track.
Yeah. There's so many parts on this that you just... I love when they switch to the A chord in that last kind of ending section. Mm-hmm. It brings that almost happiness to it when you know there's not supposed to be. It's kind of, the song in a way feels taboo, you know. It's just, there's just so many elements to it. The phaser on the intro, little clean solo, the pinch harmonics on the clean tone that Billy hits, love it, absolutely love it. The phaser again on the fuzzy solo in the middle of the song, and then the outro solo as well. He just has a way of just moving up and down the fretboard that, you know, not many people can do. And it's just, if you hear Billy Corgan playing, you know it's Billy Corgan playing. And this is also another one that I want to talk about, the feedback on the guitars. Because, you know, that feedback part, which is arguably one of the most famous sections from this song, is recorded on like a cheap pawn shop guitar. And that's just so sick to me. You can record an album with anything, any gear, if you're good enough. And they are damn good enough, that's for sure. Yeah. Colby, what do you got to add to this?
It's kind of funny. I'm blanking on the solo part and like not the ending of the song, but really just the solo part. Okay, now I remember.
Yeah, now we got it.
It's so obviously a neck pickup.
Oh yeah.
There's no way he's in bridge for that. It's always just so cloudy.
Yeah.
Like just curved at the end. Wow, the use of the word curve in this.
It's very curvy. Yes.
It could be.
It's vivacious, if you will.
But yeah, the sound of this solo. Thank you for reminding me. That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
It's
so memorable.
I
know you forgot it, but it's memorable. It's a memorable solo.
We were just talking about Geek USA. And
there's a lot.
That's complex. But I also just love the use of like when you're in the lower part and then you slide up to like towards the end, the
Yep.
When he slides up.
Oh yeah.
So I can't even think of the word now.
Well, I was gonna say I love the chords on this song are very simple, but he's just able to once again make such a great melody out of it underneath those chords, and that's just something that Billy and James excel at so well, is putting those two together and working together so simultaneously to just make a sonic landscape, really. And that's what this song, I feel like, encapsulates, is everything from the feedback on the $5 pawn shop guitar to the ending solo to Jimmy's drum part, which he's just banging the shit out of the drums on this song, and it's awesome. The snare's getting a lot of work on this one.
He slows it down a lot.
Yeah, the snare gets a lot of work on this one. He's hitting it hard, even though it's slowed down. But this one just,
I feel like
I love this one.
There's a lot of hi-hat hiccups.
Yeah, he does a lot of. Yeah, he does a lot of hi-hat. Yeah.
It's such a standout track.
Yeah. Amazing. And it's
rightfully getting more popular.
It's become one of their more popular ones recently for great reason. Everyone's discovering how amazing it is. So, yeah. Colby, what is the next song? The next song is another acoustic. Colby.
Space Boy.
Space Boy. Yeah, so this one it's not as high on the list for me. It's not as much of a listen to song, but I just love the thought of having two acoustic songs on this album. It's just perfect. It fits perfect. Billy's a great acoustic player as well. They did a Siamese Dream like acoustic show at Tower Records for the release, and the songs sound just as great on acoustic as they do electric, which I feel like that's really hard to do.
Yeah. I like the chords on this song a lot.
Yeah.
I like this track quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Gush on it.
Probably not in the top 5 of this album, but I think it's such a great album track.
Yeah.
I just love the chorus of it. It's also got a little bit of it, from what I remember, it's got a bit of a symphony in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a few strings in there.
It's got some bells as well, that I remember. And
bells?
That riff is very bluesy. It feels very bluesy. It sounds like it could be played with a slide guitar as well. It's just a nice
strings.
riff. Yeah, it's just a nice riff. And the chords are very pleasing to the ear as well. But Colby, since this is one of your favorites, I'll let you go a little bit more on it.
Well, I just I always appreciate an acoustic song, as we said before. This is the second one, and it's the only other one, I think, right?
Pretty sure.
I think so.
I don't think Sweet Sweet is acoustic.
Nope, it's an acoustic.
Yeah.
With a kapoo on it.
Yeah.
Or not an electric with a kapoo on it.
Yep.
I know that's not how you say it, but it's Space Boy is just a very atmospheric song to me.
Yeah.
And it kind of represents the name itself.
Yeah.
Kind of what it feels like to me. It's almost a little absent in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just like, it's like you're almost like
kind of laying back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like in the other room as it's happening.
Yeah. It's like kind of an intermission on the album that's just so packed full of... Because, after you hear Mayonnaise, this one's kind of just like a break from the heartbreak, of hearing Mayonnaise. And this one, just like you said, kind of has a symphony. It has a symphony behind it, and they just do that amazingly, putting those instruments behind everything and layering stuff so well. And yeah, Space Boy's great. It's just not one of my more listened to tracks, but I know it's one of your favorites. So, yeah, Colby, is there anything else that you would like to add for Space Boy?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the next song on the album is going to be, I'll say it, because I know you don't like saying this word. It's going to be Silver Fuck. Yeah. So, Colby.
This is like a second Geek USA on the...
Oh, it's a clanger.
On the album. This is not really one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
But I like, there's a lot of different sections to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always respect a little bit of complexity with switching speeds and switching styles.
Yeah.
I remember there's a bit of a switching of styles in this song. And just shows how talented this band was.
Oh, man.
And
Still
with,
is.
The leadership of Butch Vig, like, they just created a insane
It's
album.
a 10 out of 10 album, I'd say. I mean, this album, I feel like for a lot of people, it takes a little bit of time to grow on them, especially when you first start listening to the Pumpkins. Billy's voice definitely has to grow on you. I mean, it had to grow on me for quite a while, to be honest. But once you just get into that groove and understand the beauty behind his voice and just the way that he applies it to their music, it works so perfectly, and everything just falls into place from there. You start noticing all the musicianship throughout this album and how perfectly it's put together. Just the track listing is great, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I just think that, like, if you want to say it this way, once you get over his voice, even if you can never get over his voice, how can you deny the music?
Yeah.
The music is just absolutely beautiful.
It is undeniable.
It's so melodic.
Yeah.
And just so much movement inside all of these songs. Just like if you're denying that you like Creed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can say, hey, Creed, but then...
We'll find you listening to Creed. You'll get outed listening to Creed, I'm telling you. It's, that's a great comparison, because, the Smashing Pumpkins, while they're still a very insanely popular band, and probably gaining even more popularity now,
a lot of bands are.
Which is great. Love that. But, actually, it's awful. I like to gatekeep. I love gatekeeping. No one should be listening to the same bands that I listen to, because I listen to them on a more emotional and deeper level. I love gatekeeping. But anyways, Smashing Pumpkins are just great. And Silver Fuck is a great song.
It's a toxic workspace, everybody.
It's toxic.
But really, just I want to put a bow on this. I've always kind of liked Billy's voice, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I've always kind of liked nasally voices in a way. I don't want to name drop. I don't know. I was gonna say the bassist from the band. He's sung a lot of the band songs, and he's kind of got like a nasally voice.
Yeah.
And so that it's endearing.
Name drop that shit, dude. You know who it is.
Rick Danko.
There you go. All right.
Pretty good bassist, man. I love the band.
The band is sick.
And Billy's voice on all these songs just perfectly encapsulates the meaning he's trying to bestow.
Convey.
Yeah, or convey.
Yeah.
And it's just no better way. They complement each other so well.
Yeah.
The voice and the music.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop rambling. Silver
Fuck
is a pretty solid album track.
Yeah.
But what's the next one? Or do you have more to say?
I don't have anything else to say. The next song is Sweet.
I'm excited.
The next song is Sweet Sweet.
Yeah.
Colby, you can gush on this one too.
This one I like a lot.
Yeah.
It's so chimey.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like I'm listening to Tom Petty.
Yeah. It sounds like it might be. It's like recorded on a Telecaster or something. It's very, very, very chimey.
I'm just assuming that it's either a very weird alternate tuning or a capo.
Probably. It might be a capo.
That's what I think it is. But I think it's just a very. I love the harmonies. But I think it's just Billy. I don't hear. Wait, actually, no. Darcy is in there.
But I mean, there's a lot of vocal layering in this album as well. I'm pretty sure that Billy layers the vocals quite a bit. There's moments where you can hear double of his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darcy, once again, man, just provides such a great backing for Billy's voice, and that can't be understated. Yeah.
Yeah, Sweet Sweet, to me, is not an intermission track.
Mm-mm.
I find this to be deserving of just being recognized as a full track.
Yeah.
Because it's only, a minute 50?
Yeah, it's short. It's pretty short.
There's no Lucan.
Mm-mm.
Which I would identify Lucan as a full track, too, even though it's only 30 seconds or whatever. Am I thinking of the right one? Off of No Code? The punk one.
Something Lucan or Red Mosquito?
Oh, no, it's Lucan. It's
Lucan.
Because Red Mosquito's kind of...
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Can't really remember. We're talking about a different band, Colby. Come on.
We're talking about pumpkins. Yeah, I really like this track. What do you think about it, Ryan?
I like it. Like you said, I like it. I would consider it a full song. It's not an intermission song, and I also enjoy the harmonies a lot. There's just a lot of moments where their voices just sit so perfectly, like you said on the last one, just sit so perfectly over top of the music, and it's almost like, honestly, that their voice is just getting tucked in under a blanket with the music. That's how I'd describe it.
I have another something similar to that for the next song, but
yeah.
Keep going.
No, that's about all I had to say for it. It's a short song, so there's really not much depth to it, I'd say. But yeah, sweet. What a great...
It's got great reverb on
12th song. Yeah, a lot of these songs have delicious reverb on them.
Scrumptious.
Scrumdiddlyumptious. But the last song on Siamese Dream. Colby, what is it?
Luna.
Give it to me.
This is always this was a surprising track to me.
Yeah.
When I first listened to this, I absolutely love this song.
It's
now,
so
when you were
good.
saying it felt like getting tucked in, but I found this song to be like a cuddle. Like you're getting cuddled by the music.
It's a perfect way to round out the album.
It's got Darcy and Billy doing the harmonizing towards the end. I'm in love with you. It's just such a vibe.
Yeah.
The song is.
It's one you could slow dance to. Like, truly.
It's also just got a great guitar part to it. It's so laid back. I don't think distortion's turned on once during the whole song.
No, it's not. And, like, it's just a perfect way to round out the end of the album. This just, it just feels like it's closing a book. That's what it feels like it's doing for this song. And, you know, you start out with Cherub Rock, which is fast and fiery and hits you right in the soul. And then Luna just mellows it out, closes the book, and ends the album perfectly in my eyes.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like like an open and closed book. That's perfect way of saying it.
I'd compare it to Once and Release on 10. It just kind of ends the album off so perfectly. It's mellow. Like you said, distortion's not really turned on ever in this, and all the instruments are just coming together as one, and the band is coming together as one, and it just shows that this album is this version of the Pumpkins, the new era of them is just firing on all cylinders for this one.
It's like you start on Earth for Cherub Rock, you get transported to Mars, and then you're back to Jupiter, and then you come back down to Earth for Luna. It's just intergalactic.
You spend a while up in space.
Boy.
Yeah, you spend a while up in space during this album. Transported, for sure, is a great way to put it. And then, you know, just to end with this one. I love it, man. It's great.
Yeah, it's perfect ending track.
Perfect ending track. And that's how it's done.
That's how it's done.
Shout out to Butch fucking Vig for producing this, mixing this. Jesus, man, it's perfect. This is a perfectly mixed album the entire way, through and through, if you will. Yeah, shout out to Butch Vig on this. Absolutely phenomenal. Good stuff. Colby, anything else you want to add?
No, I don't, because this just amazing. But we failed.
We failed the challenge of gushing about it for 30 minutes. We went for more like 50, it looks like. 55, almost an hour. We kind of expected that to happen, though.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we were listening to the album as well, because we'd be able to touch on so much more.
No, we just got so much to say.
We got so much to say.
So much to say.
So much to say. Dave Matthews, shout out. Yeah. Colby, is there anything else that you want to add for Siamese Dream, or you just want to let it rock out like that?
Let's let it rock.
All right, everyone.
Kevin Rudolph.
Puddle of Grunge podcast, episode 22. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream turns 31 tomorrow, July 26th, 27th. 27th. Well, it turns 31 on Saturday. We're recording this on Thursday, okay? So the 27th. But yeah, Puddle of Grunge podcast. Everyone, I'm Ryan.
I'm Colby.